Hey, little fish in the bottom of the ocean, moving along in a really cool
Moving on to my next question to Miss Karoliina. We had a great pleasure with the EHEI Schools Teacher Toolkit being introduced in Spectrum International School, Malaysia. Can you tell us about the unique of Finnish early childhood education?
Yes, so from my perspective, what makes Finnish early education unique? It's actually about two things. It's about what we learn and how we learn in the early years. So what we emphasize learning in Finnish early childhood education is not actually individual subjects or individual topics and knowledge. But what we focus on are called transversal skills, which are often also referred as the 21st century skills. So a set of skills and competencies that the children will need in their future life as adults, and skills that actually prepare them to further learning on the next levels of their educational paths. We do not focus too much on detailed information and so-called trivia, but we want to learn and teach about different phenomena that are very close to children's day-to-day experiences. So they somehow relate to the environment where the children are all the time acting and learning. And here we come to the second point, which is how we learn. So we want that the learning is very connected to the daily life of children. And this means that we use all the times during the day for learning. So learning doesn't only happen when teacher is teaching, but learning is something the children are doing constantly. The teaching or the learning methods we in Finnish early education emphasize are quite creative. We have lots of play, and we have lots of time for both teacher-guided as well as to child-initiated play, where children's own interests, their own questions, their own wonders direct the learning during the playtime. We focus a lot on independency skills and to develop children's self-direction, because those are actually the things that we also need later, for example, in school, in order to learn about different topics and subjects, that we need to be quite self-directed in learning. So that's why we also want children to do as many things themselves in the daily life as possible. Of course, we also then, as one very essential transversal skill and future skill, we emphasize a lot socio-emotional skills. So we have a lot of activities. We talk a lot with children about their emotions, feelings, thoughts, ideas. We encourage children to collaborate with each other. Like said, children do not only learn from teachers, but they learn from each other. So we want to emphasize that in the Finnish early childhood education. We also very, very highly pay attention to holistic well-being, which means that we feel both physically and mentally well. And later on in one question related to nature, I will open up this topic a bit more. But for example, in Finnish kindergartens, in Finnish ECE, we, for example, provide lots of outdoor playtime and lots of physical activities for children, because it promotes their holistic well-being. And without this well-being, there are no conditions for young children to learn. So that's about the uniqueness in a very nutshell. And I think the later questions, I will open a bit more about these topics.
That's my lord, the little fish said. That's my lord, the little fish said. That's my